to Portman Road. This sound indicates an important announcement.
Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to the Thursday Night Preview Show with me, the host, the Governor. I hope you are all well, and our feet is firmly on the ground. It's all gone a little bit quiet out on the Western Front. But we're here to pick up the pieces and take a look at the landscape that is known as the Ipswich Town world. It's sometimes mad, it's sometimes bad, it's all the time absolutely bizarro. But we're here to do it nonetheless. And I'm joined this evening by two wonderful people. First and foremost, he is, of course, loved by many and any and everyone. Give him 9 men and he would have got Lambert out.
No. Pretty Caroline, stone cold stunner. She was a winner, started working at the dime. Serves this on her mind to count your blessings, 'cause it's telling fair. Put you down and leave you there, don't make them scared. Yeah, it's the ugly truth. How they come and hook you.
I don't know what to say on that, really, other than
It's the truth, and it's coming for you, Mr. Mike Brown. Keep calm. Keep calm.
Keep it real.
The fisherman's on Talking Town. Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
I'm okay. I'm waiting with bated breath. I'm looking forward to a future. Then I'm not looking forward to the future. I'm up. I'm down. I'm left. I'm right. I can't quite decide. You said to me a couple of months ago was you give me 9 guys. I'll arrange a protest. Mm-hmm. Change the manager. Everyone seems to sort of calm themselves down a little bit, and I've seen a few people today sort of supporting the owner. Where after last night's statement, where are you currently sat? Crunch has piped in with Evans out. Where are you?
With him. Yeah, I'm still with Crunch on this. Paul Cook's. Yeah, we'll go on to that later. But yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. You know, he's not going to change in the 13 years. He's not changed in the 13 years of his ownership. Why is he going to suddenly change now? You know, we've had Mick McCarthy, didn't give him really any real funds. He's going to give Paul Cook the same. He's going to suddenly say, "Yeah, I'll put it. Oh, it's £10 million. Go and buy some players." You know, if we get to the championship, it's 10 million or 15 million pounds to go and buy some players, because that's what you really need to spend in the championship now to have any real sort of chance of promotion for that matter.
Probably more than that.
I think a few teams have done it on less, haven't they? So, you know, but obviously, yeah, you're probably looking maybe £30 million now. Who'd have thought that sort of 20 years ago? But in the second division. But you know, like I say, I think on a serious note, Evans is never going to do that. So there's only one way this can end up really, and that's bye Evans. You know, it's no good giving him praise for bringing in Paul Cook. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors, and from what I see today, there's obviously something going on that we are going to be excited about.
Well, this is it. Graham Brook, Evans out. Oliver Moyes, Evans out. No money, no interaction. Paragon, Evans has his faithful acolytes under his control. Alex Turkish, I'll be devastated. I'm with Alex. I'll be devastated if Evans doesn't piss off. Matt Wingard, 50% of the job is done. Ben Moore, get that clown out. Need our club back. Quiz to start now into the second part. Jacob he won't go. Won't change overnight. As Crunch said when rumours are out, keep our feet on the ground and save heartbreak if it doesn't happen. I don't think we should underestimate the power of the public mood, the public voice, and underestimate how people check in on shows like this and check in on the community. And yesterday's statement, which we'll come on to, was a little bit personal, I felt, the fisherman. I thought he was talking to me as if we'd known each other for 20 odd years.
It was like that moment when you go down the pub and you're with a load of your mates and you're having a few drinks with your mates, and some strange guy comes over, starts talking to you, and then suddenly, all right, mate, suddenly he's like your best friend. I'm like,
Totally.
I don't even know you. We didn't know you for 7 years. Why you suddenly want to play this? You're mine. We're all in this together. We're best friends type rubbish. I don't fall for that. You burn your bridges with me, mate. I'm telling you.
But that's it. But then, is he trying to paint himself to be like, is he putting this manager, which everyone is unanimously saying, yeah, good appointment. And then he's sort of writing how he's saved the club here, saved the club there. He's had 13 years to do stadium infrastructure improvements. Why suddenly is he writing about how he's going to improve everything now? Before you answer that question, let's bring in our third member. He's, of course, the legend of Lowestoft. I wonder if these windows need fixing. One more appearance. This is it. The next one has an intro. It is the Hockz. Welcome in, Hockz. How you doing?
Yeah, it's all right. How are we?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm waiting. How are you?
All right. Yeah, my windows are secure for now.
They are at the moment. But for those that perhaps don't know, tell the people at home the whole window story. Come on.
Well, basically, we had a bit of banter. Well, I say a few weeks ago. It's a few months ago now.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And it aggravates me so much that James Norwood is on social media messing around, smashing his windows, climbing through lifts and all this shit that he does, and yet he weren't putting the ball in the net. And I said he can come around and smash my windows if he nets 20 next season. He's netted 3 and 3 winners as well, so credit to him. It's very refreshing that actually he's tweeting professional stuff. That I know everyone has a life outside football, but just give me a striker that's going to put the ball in the fucking net, put the ball in the net, and just be professional. That's all I ask. Do you know what I mean? He's not at Exeter City anymore. He's not at Tranmere anymore. He's at a big club now, you know. And enough's enough. Enough's enough of the shit show that he's been providing. Do you know what I mean?
No,
so it's about stuff.
Absolutely. And as Cruncher says, £12 for your window. Is that £12 for your window cleaner? Is it, George?
Yes, it is. But like
£12,
I mentioned,
that's a bargain.
12 quid for my windows. He said this is 20, but I don't live in a mock Georgian mansion, do I? This is it, you see.
No,
I live in a 3-bed semi, mate. 3-bed semi. I ain't got 20 bedrooms like him. Do you know what I mean?
No, well, no. Yeah, it is a competition on the Talking Sound Sunday podcast. Who has more wings in their house, Matt or Rich? But there we are. We'll talk about Marcus Evans' statement there, and almost a change of tone. A change of trying to, I won't say negotiate with the fan, but speak to the fan. How did you take the statement yesterday? Obviously, we didn't hear from you last night's show. So how did you take it? What did you make of it? And what your thoughts a day
I'll
on?
Be honest with you. I got a bit bored halfway through reading it because it's just the same old shit, and it's just the same old lies, the same old crap. I'll do this. Do you know what I haven't heard for a little while? There's money to spend. I haven't heard that for a little while. That's a bit quiet, isn't it?
You won't do it.
Every year there was money to spend. Yeah, he spent about £4.50 on the beers on a night out or something. It's absolutely awful. It's just the same old shit, isn't it? Same old shit. Oh, this is what I'm expecting to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden he has to put in their figures, doesn't he? He has to put in there the figures of how much this year's cost him. Fucking hang on. I'll just get me violin out for you, Marcus. With your fucking 900 million or however much it is. Embarrassing, mate. Embarrassing.
I love it. Yes, I love this.
Fucking bangs out of tape.
I hope Marcus Evans is watching this. I really do, because
he will be.
Absolutely.
The takeover rumours ain't true. Matt Slater wouldn't have come on here because he'll be hung out to dry. If this is all nonsense, he'll be hung out to dry. Yeah. And he wouldn't have come on here if he didn't trust the people where he's getting this information from.
It is. He kind of alludes to bids on the table. He makes a claim of a fortnight ago. Obviously, can't back that up or disprove it, but he does make it. And yeah, as Luke says, the dear fellow fan bit straight away that got my back up, Jordan, because dear fellow, fuck off with the fellow fan crap. You have taken my club from the Championship top 10, and you potentially could leave it at any moment great, but you leave it in the third tier. Like this is fundamentally poor leadership, poor down direction. It's just awful. Fuck off.
Do you know what?
He did promise to take us out of the championship.
Well, he did that. Yeah, well, there you go.
He's done that, didn't he? Let's be honest.
Stick that on the cobble stand then, boys.
Do you know what, right? I bet you everyone's reaction is you've got the email, you've picked up your phone, you've looked at it, message from the owner. It's just like, yeah, here we go. You've looked at it, dear fellow fan. Yeah, that'll do me for tonight. Put your phone down. Have a good night. Do you know what I mean?
I had to cover it, so I couldn't.
Same shit every single fucking year, innit? He just comes out. He talks out of his ring, doesn't he? Absolutely out of his arse.
He does. But he should have put a great big screen in the fan zone. So, if you want a new striker, forget it. But if you want to watch Premier League football at 12:15 on a Saturday, the fan zone's the place to be. Because he's putting a
new screen in, yeah. He's putting a new screen in there, yet most Saturdays the scoreboard don't even fucking work.
You don't need If you've got no striker, Jordan, you don't need a scoreboard, do you?
I'm sat in the North Stand thinking an hour's gone, yet someone comes out, it's 3 minutes added on. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking madness, isn't it? I'm sticking a big screen. You fucking hell, mate. You ought to try getting this fucking tannoy and that sort of first.
Yeah. So
has anybody actually understood what actually is said on the tannoy? Because every time I've been there, it's just total, it's just awful, isn't it?
All I know is it's an important announcement, and then a great big thud as the speaker blows every time. God, I love Portman Road. Anyway, there is a definite change of tone in the statement. A definite change of tone. So, do you think he's actually talking to you, the fan, or if it's been agreed or it's going backwards and forwards, do you think he's talking to somebody else within the statement? Because it's not like a statement we've ever had before, or one that I can certainly remember. And I saw something in the chat a second ago which kind of made me think of this, and I can't quite find the comment. Is he writing to you as the fan, Mike, or is he writing to somebody else maybe who will read it as an interested party?
I'm not convinced he wrote that. I'm not. It's just an opinion. Some of it is obviously same old, copy and paste from the last 3 or 4 years. But, the fellow fan, it seems a little bit Americanized. And why are you reading too much into that?
Well,
I don't think the Americans, Jordan, would write an email that said "clubs for sale."
Do you know what does?
I'd end it with a bit better.
That's the word I picked up on.
Yeah, but if I was the Americans, Jordan, I'd write it and I'd end it with a little bit like, if somebody comes forward with a credible plan and good this and good that and good this, then I'll step aside. So when they come in on their horse, you go, well, Evans did say if they had all these things. I don't think the Americans wrote that, but might be wrong. Jordan, what do you think?
He spoke more in the last week, Evans has, than he ever has before. That's what I find weird. We've heard from him 2 or 3 times in the last week, whether that be through O'Neill or whether that be through himself. You can't trust a single word that come out of their mouth. O'Neill said Evans will take his time with Paul, with a new manager. 24 hours and 30 minutes later, Paul Cook was appointed manager. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's one big fucking circus, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? The fucking leadership's a shambles. It's an absolute shambles. The sooner he sell up, Martin, the better. I think we're all in agreement.
It's more for that reason, though, Jordan. It's more for that reason. Fresh voice, fresh leadership, new direction. Like, even if the new owners come in and say, we ain't going to give you a fucking penny, they might have a plan. Like, all the reports in the news about Mark Ashton, something you like about the guy at Bristol City, but it's already 10 million light years ahead of what Mark Evans has ever done in 13 years. Milne, Simmons, O'Neill. Mark Ashton took Adam Webster and converted it into 30 million quid, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not getting that figure wrong. Player transfer is not something we've ever been good at. Bristol City have always been fairly decent. Like, already it's speaking to me and saying, we've got a bit of a plan here, lads. Like, even if we've got no money, Mike, we've got a bit of a plan.
It was that word, wasn't it? That fellow fan. He's never called us fellow fans. He's always called dear supporter. And that's why when I looked at them with that wording, to me, that looked... It's not something Evans would say. He's always called us dear supporters. It is dear supporters. It's just You know, so
Well-
I'm wondering, like I said, I'm not saying they wrote everything, but it does seem a little bit unlike Evans to write "Dear fellow fan," and that was the key thing that I picked up on more than anything on that email. Obviously, the other bullshit I was written on there is
upgrading the CCTV. How about that one, lads? Upgrading the CCTV.
Yeah, he put a fence up down the training ground as well. Fucking hell, mate. God, I bet that stretched the budget. Like,
is that a case for the
down my lake if you want it?
Upgrading the CC. I mean, that is a line that I skimmed over, and it just brought it back to me, Oliver. Cheers. I mean, why is he writing that? I mean, when you're writing your successes at a football club, and one of them is I've upgraded the. It's not Tesco's, mate. Like I've upgraded the CCTV quality. We've not got a 20 goal.
Just running the club like a dollar shop, isn't he?
Well, we've not got a 20 goal season striker, George. But we've got quality CCTV that lets him know from his house in London or wherever that, you know, somebody's trying to set a pyro off on a demonstration.
fuck it, man.
If Norwood had been fit all season, I think he could have banged him in. I think he's just, yeah. Norwood, I agree with what you say, Hockz. Norwood's a little bit, you know, he's one of them ones that wind me up. And he said, he tweeted the other day after the game, said, I should have had balls. I said, yeah, try and put some conviction behind your shots. Do you know what I mean? But I think if it had been fit, I think we'd have had more goals out of him.
Should have, would have, could have.
Yeah.
You've made Harry Butcher in tears because that tweet you put out about Town fans panicking. Hadn't seen it, got to be honest. Has me in tears laughing. James B. Took years to get the North Stand roof cleaned. Yeah.
You fucking hell, yeah.
And then,
and
then by the time we go back, George, it'll be fucking dirty again. So,
no,
classic.
Remember what letter was missing off the side of the Cobbold stand as well? There was a letter missing off the side for ages as well, wasn't there? Fucking hell, man. You can't even keep up with basic maintenance. And you know, the last year, when was it when he announced he'd painted the turnstiles? You're fucking having me on it, yeah? Fucking hell.
This is brilliant. This is just the tonic I need. This is like the Marcus Evans Rocky Horror Show. Like this 13 years, like as Crunch says, CCTV better option than
Not long, is he? Not long.
Hang on the money, Crunch.
Ben Moore, CCTV or a news striker? Cook to Evans, Marcus, you need a striker. Evans, don't worry, Paul. I've sorted out the CCTV. Oh, brilliant. I mean, you could go on about the. No, it's just, I want him gone yesterday, quite frankly. New voice, new leadership. The letter was actually shite, as David says. Stuart's loving it. Jonathan Hannon, the statue's nearly clean. Though the problem is, Jonathan, you'll never have a team fit enough for statues again while that man remains in charge of your football club. I can firmly believe that. Firmly believe it. Because let's move on to other matters. But before we do, if Paul Cook, who really comes in and said promotion is the key, and I've got a question from Adam about this a bit later on. But how much? Actually, I'll go to Adam's question now, actually, because it kind of leads on. Throw it over Thursday. Adam said, takeover or not, does Cook's job get infinitely harder if we get promoted? Players out of contract who need replacing with a better standard of player, squad needed trimming down, players not good enough for the step up. So how much harder, if Paul Cook achieves the achievable dream of promotion, how much harder with Evans in charge does the job get? Because you're not going to get money, are you?
No, we go down. We go back down. If Evans is still in charge while we go to the champion, if we get to the championship, let's keep it as if. I'd love it, but if he's still in charge and while we're in the championship, can anyone here honestly say he'll put £30 million into the club to buy some players?
I'm not sure he'll put 30 million in, but you've got to think the players that will leave, some being probably not far off championship wage or lower championship wage. You'd like to think, okay, I'm just saying you'd like to think that there will be a lot of wages to spend and there will be a hell of a lot of free agents this summer, wouldn't there? I'm not saying that they're the best option ever, but
no, but you'd have to think, George, these this takeover, if the new guys are in place by the summer, they're going to want to spend money. Like, you don't make money being a bottom six championship side, the same way you don't make money playing Accrington Stanley, no disrespect, or Gillingham at 1 p.m. You make money Saturdays 1 p.m. playing Arsenal. Like, if you are a pension pot or whatever money, you're going to put, for at least the first year, like even Evans did for the first year, didn't he? Put a couple of million. And with clubs being so close to the breadline, as Evans so neatly put it yesterday in his statement about if we come through this pandemic with all clubs still intact, it's a miracle, I think he said. There might be a few bargains out there that we had in the summer.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
It's. I mean, look, realistically, who in our squad we've got right now would you say is arguably a half championship player?
Flynn
We haven't got, possibly Flynn Downs. We recaptured some form from a year ago.
He's not exactly set the world up in League One.
Well, let me just bring a paragraph in before I bring somebody else in to help bring this conversation. This is from Marcus Evans' statement directly. So, regardless of what division you're in next year, but we'll live in the world with the Championship. But if you want to bring it back down to League One, you're more than welcome to. We're waiting to see if we qualify for any additional rescue payment from the Premier League. We may do, but there are stipulations on how that payment is made, and also it may well have an impact on our ability to add to the squad in the summer transfer window. So there are decisions to be made on whether we even apply for that financial help. So that may also play into it. Okay, but I'll bring Stephen in. Stephen, what do you feel if this club, whatever division it's in, it's a big summer, 15 players out of contract. If you're in League One, you want to get out of League One ASAP. If you're in the Championship, you need to stay there because we've heard how desperately we need to get back there. Is it a huge summer? And if Evans stays, is it a manageable, achievable summer?
If Evans stays, he's got to invest.
But you know he won't. Well, Ollie Hawkins and Aaron Drennan are planning up front for you on Saturday. In the squad.
Well, then he can't stay. We are, as a squad, this squad got relegated from the Championship. It's not got better. They are not better players than what they were 2 years ago or a year ago. 2 years ago. And we got relegated. They've got better. We haven't. Yeah. I was watching Rotherham the other day. They're light years ahead of us. Absolute light years. We think we can go up and not spend any money. Someone's deluded if that's the case. Yeah. I know Paul Cook can spot a bargain. That Wigan team, he put that together for 10 million quid. People in Wigan were thinking they could challenge top six this year, and they weren't far off. Second half of the year they went down. They were only behind Leeds in second half of the table, so they had chances. So we can put a good side together, but not with nothing. Absolutely no chance. If we go up, there has to be investment, and it doesn't matter whether it comes from America or Marcus Evans. All I want is a CEO, a few quid. Paul Cook can do the rest. That's all we need. But if Marcus Evans can't do it, turn around and say, right, I'll pass the book on to somebody else.
All right. Josh, do you agree with what Stephen said there?
Yeah, I do. I think we haven't improved. We haven't improved since the Championship season, have we? Same players, maybe even worse with Hawkins and Drennan and whoever else he brought in that was crap. Wow. Yeah, we ain't going anywhere with Evans. Simple. Nowhere.
He's got. I mean, everyone's got a point. It's just for the time being, he is the owner, and he has said the club is not for sale. So, in that respect, Josh, if Paul Cook achieves what he said he wants to achieve, and that is promotion, that's all we can go on, the ifs and the buts. How big of a job is the summer with the budget restraints that we know is in place?
For Paul Cook, probably going to be difficult if we do go up. Unless Evans gives him money, but we all know he's not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the squad being loads of players been out of contract.
Mm-hmm.
Does Paul Cook then replace him with his own under the lack of budget that Evans has given him? Or does Evans actually back him for once and actually want us to get something?
Well, Stephen, it says back him for once. What is the aim of the summer? If you're in League One still. We'll start with that one, and then Hockz, I'll come to you and ask you what is the aim if we get promoted, because most people we'll come to that in a second. But Stephen, if we don't get promoted, what is the aim?
Can I just flip it to one thing for a minute?
Yeah, of course you can. More than welcome.
That goes along with something that happened today, Mick McCarthy's contract extension. Has Marcus Evans seen the fact that Mick McCarthy did nothing with us, went to a club who had better players, and is suddenly getting fantastic results out of another club? You know, if he had the resources here, most fans would say he would probably have done the same here. Yeah.
Yes.
He wasn't given the resources. He was given buttons, and he was trying to work miracles. Paul Cook, come the end of the season, will probably have his little chat if Marcus Evans is still in. And if he gets us promoted, he'll be a hot ticket again. He can just turn around to us and say, you ain't giving me what I want, I'll go somewhere else. There will be jobs available in the summer. Paul Cook, if he don't get what he wants, he will be a hot ticket item again. He'll just say, sod you off, I'm off. And we'll end up with somebody else. And we'll go straight back down.
Yeah. George, if we do go up by some Paul Cook miracle, Captain Cook, what is the aim for you? Is it just to consolidate, or are you still an ambitious Ipswich Town fan that believes we should be?
Are we talking still under Evans?
Sadly so, because currently he is the owner.
The assumption of, assumption of, well, yeah, you're just looking to stay up, aren't you? That's all it is, mate.
Is that every year? Is that all we are now under Evans? Is that forevermore? Just hoping to stay in that division, the second tier?
I think we'll be back in the same loop that we were under Mick, really, where we weren't really doing anything. Everyone saying Mick was doing a good job because we were finishing mid-table, which I'm not saying he weren't, but that's, you know what I'm saying? It's just going to be bang average mid-table. We get one wow loan signing in a season, like your Tom Lawrence or your Ryan Fraser, someone like that. And you know what I mean? We'll lose games, we'll win games, but we'll just be a bang average championship team again. I believe so anyway. That's how I see it going. Okay.
Josh, appreciate you. Stuart, welcome in, my man. How you doing? What are your thoughts on the mad? What's your thoughts on this week as an Ipswich Town fan? It's been bizarro.
Yeah, bizarre is one way of putting it.
Well, how would you put it?
Well, I didn't bother reading the statement because I couldn't be asked to look through about an hour's worth of long-winded words and stuff like that. I didn't bother looking at it. I'm not behind him. He can say this, that, and the other, but I want him gone. It's about time he paid up and gone.
Okay. Tux, I think we need to calm down a bit. We're still battling in League One, let alone the Championship. Hey, the question was, should we get promoted, as Paul Cook has said he wants to? So we are perfectly allowed to speculate on the target that the manager has almost set before us, Mike. He tried to temper it a little bit today in this press conference. But as he said, it's kind of, all there for us to play with, because we've got 16 games, I think it is. We've got a game in hand on Portsmouth. A win will take us above them. It's all there for us to play with, isn't it?
Look, it's in our hands to finish the playoffs minimum. Isn't it? In our hands. It's not in anybody else's hands. It's us. If we win our game in hand, and the season finish, we actually make the playoffs. The reality is, we will win. It's a bit of a lottery, and let's be honest.
Yeah.
If you have a good game, you have a good, good semi-final, and you end up in the final, and you play well, and you end up winning that, then great, you get promoted. Reality is, if we get promoted with Evans, we'll just come straight back down. There's no mid-table, but even with Paul Cook, no mid-table. There's no, it will be a yo-yo League One championship club under Evans, and that, and like Hockz said, the reality is Paul just had enough of this. I'm going. I don't believe that's going to happen. He said a few things in his interview, which said to me that there's more going on behind the scenes that we are being told. It's an exciting time for Ipswich Town fans, was one of the words he used.
Yeah, I've got a quote here, actually. I've got the full quote, which I'm going to come to.
Yeah.
Stu, we'll come to it now. Stu, I really appreciate it. I'm ringing Callie, because Callie came to me directly and said he wants to talk about the owner. So I'll bring him in on this, because we're going to come to what Paul Cook said. We'll come back to sort of Evans if you want to a bit later. But it was, and Luke Penning sent me this as well to cover it as well. And I'm very confident what Ipswich are about to do going forward for the future. Fans can be very excited. What do you take from that then, Mike, before we bring in Callie?
like I said, there's something going on behind the scenes. You know, Concha said, why would he come to a League One side when he knows probably he could go to any even top half championship side if they were struggling? He's here for a reason. You know, there's always that doubt because with Marcus Evans, as last 13 years, most of us fans have suffered. Some suffered more than others, you know, you know, but the reality is, as fans, we've suffered, and I can't see for the life of me why a manager of Paul Cook's calibre would come to this club knowing Marcus Evans' previous record when it comes to investment. There's no way he's going to invest £10 million into this club and we got championship. And, you know, there's no way he'd do it. He's never done that. He's never put £10 million in one season. Why is he going to do it now? He's not going to do it now. So there must be something going on behind the scenes.
Or could Jordan? Could that just be a manager that's just taken charge of a football club, and regardless of who the owner is, he's going to think there's exciting times coming, isn't he? Because he's the guy that's going to deliver them.
I don't know. I think I've got a very good friend who's a Sheffield Wednesday fan, and I believe he got offered the job there at Sheffield Wednesday.
6 months deal, yeah.
Yeah, I think so you hear he turned it down. I don't know if we're just clutching at straws a little bit, are we? But I like to think he knows something we don't. Do you know what I mean? I like to think. I didn't think we'd be able to get Cook. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think we'd be able to get him. Not, you know what I mean? Just because of where we are, League One. Like he said himself, he wanted to stay in the Championship, and I think you'll read out the statement in a bit with what he said. It's a bit of a bizarre sort of comment to make. Yeah, I think he knows something we don't possibly. I'd like to think that anyway. Do you know what I mean? Well, I hope so anyway.
Okay, Tuck's makes a good point here, Callie, but we'll just bring you in. I've lost it. He wants to basically know where we wanted what the fans that were here it is. I'd love to know what these fans think now who said 3 or 4 years ago that we need to get relegated and then do a Norwich. I hate to say it, but Norwich are a much better run club than we are currently. Which brings us back onto Evans for yourself. I wonder where those fans are, because there was a lot of them that said relegation to League One, a restock, bounce back would be better, and a reset. Well, that's not happened yet. But what are your thoughts on the takeover, on Paul Cook? What's going on in your mind?
First of all, can we all just calm the fuck down? Like it's a nice time to be a Town fan at the moment. We've won 3 on the bounce and we've got a new manager. We've been wanting Paul Lambert gone. He's gone. We got Paul Cook. The takeover and all the rest of it. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, none of us were none the wiser. It were rumours, right? So that was always a nice to have, right? That was always going to be the ambitious thing to have. So at the moment, what we all wanted, probably halfway through the season, was Lambert gone. He's gone, and we've got a quality manager where I think we all agree he's the right manager.
Only if he's backed. Every manager could have been the right manager with the right backing. I'm sorry, Ollie Hawkins and Aaron Drillen is not the right backing for Paul Lambert. Fact.
I agree with you there, but then again, it's your setup around you, right? So it's about
disagree. Aaron Drillen went through on goal Tuesday night. I think I had more chance of scoring. Sat on my sofa. Like we can criticise Paul Lambert, and we all have done on this panel. I have done at times, but obviously I've been probably more vocal support. Your coaching team can be the best coaching team in the world. If your strikers are still not good enough and scoring goals, it's irrelevant.
So the same team that Paul Lambert sets out gets a 0-0 against Northampton. It's the same set of players. It's just a different coaching mentality that happened for the following 3 games. Something changed, right? That weren't Paul Lambert taking those sessions or whatever, right? So for me, there was always a question about, is our squad good enough? Our squad's good enough, right?
Still sitting 7th.
Hold on. The difference between us and the top and the guys at the top was our kind of front 4 or 5. Right, defensively we were okay. Defensive midfield was pretty okay as well, but creative we were shit. We weren't creating anything. We're doing it, you know. Lee's man, Norwood, he's scoring goals as well, right? So we look like we're coming about something. So the team's looking okay. We've got a manager there with a proven track record now that's there. So then it comes on to the thing about Evans and backing and ambition, right? Now these companies, these are all very good businessmen in what they're doing. The Americans and Evans, right? They're businessmen. They're experienced. Certain information they've not only let leak out, but they're engaging with it and interacting with it to a point. Evans' statement itself, the tone of it and everything changed it, where he was no longer the bad, the boss or whatever at the top in terms of the owner. He was this silent kind of small investor on the side, and he was like, I'm one of you guys now, fellow supporter. I think in my heart, I think the takeover will happen. I don't think it's these things ain't going to happen overnight. Curtis picked up the point on yesterday on the show about the land registry thing, about having the search till the end of mid-April or whatever. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the takeover completed just before, pre-season or just at the end of this season even. It's not something if it doesn't happen next week, it doesn't happen. And you know what? If it doesn't happen and we've still got Evans, then we go up to the Championship. And you just got to have a bit of belief that Cook will get the best out of the players, because Lambert was having our players get worse. All our players, like you're talking about Downs and stuff like that, they're not the same people that they were before. Cook all of a sudden, right, and Gill and whoever, you'll see the difference. Give it time. Cook is a proper manager, and he's a current manager with current tactics. He's not dinosaur philosophy with Paul Lambert. But let's be happy. We've got Paul Cook in. Lambert's gone. If the takeover happens, it happens.
No, I can't, Callie. I can't be happy until stage 2 is complete. Like, I've been dangled this carrot.
How impatient is that? It's just like okay. We've had 2.5 years of Lambert, right? So we've got him out. You've had 13 odd years of Evans. The end is coming. Okay, you've had reputable people come on this show, like the guy from The Athletic. They wouldn't report shit like that if there wasn't something about it.
Well, let's break it down. Let's break it down. They've reported that there's bids on the table, correct?
Yeah.
Evans has confirmed there's bids on the table. No one's reported the ink is dried, and they've all signed the deal. Like, any point, this could still go.
And what you're probably talking about is a difference of about £5 to £7 million in the valuation fee. That's the difference that they're holding out for, right? That's I reckon Evans.
Or it's Marcus Evans feeling like he could be. I don't want to say saviour, but it could be something like he's seeing us in 7th place. He's seeing the things Paul Cook said today. You win your game in hand, you're above Portman inside the playoffs. You're on a good run of form. The players can turn it around. You've got 16 games all in your hand. This club is worth a lot more in the Championship, Kelly, than it is in League One. But we know takeovers don't take instant. They don't go bang, takeover bang.
Exactly. So
I don't want a summer with Marcus Evans anywhere near my football club. I'm tired of Marcus Evans. I've got Marcus Evans fatigue.
I get that, right? But then, like you said, takeovers take time, right? So Evans, let's be real. We all know Evans' heart isn't in the club. It never has been, right? If he gets the right deal, he walks away, right? Regardless, I think if he gets the right deal, he walks away. He's got other businesses to fund, right? They're being hit by the pandemic. He needs to concentrate on that. If he can inject some cash flow into that businesses and help them, that's what he'd do as an astute businessman, right? So he's probably looking at that thing. And if we end up in a situation where, okay, we go into the Championship, so we say, no, actually, I might double my asking price or whatever, is that going to be another 6 months or another year of negotiations? When this deal is so close, there's too many things that have been leaked to the public in a kind of area where, data and all that is very kept close. Like, all this information is normally kept close. People have signed NDAs, people have done all the other bits. I think a takeover is more or less there. To say it's done or whatever is it's not completely done at all, right? But it's there or thereabout. And even if it doesn't happen straight away, even if we go, I'm saying very worst case scenario, we go in to the Championship season, right? Because I believe we'll go up under Cook. We go in the Championship season under Cook. We'll get the best out of it, right? We just got to have a bit of faith, because
what makes Paul Cook I'll ask Jordan, what makes Paul Cook any better than Mick McCarthy? Any better than Paul Jewell, who had success at Wigan? Any better than Roy Keane, who had success at Sunderland? Any better than Paul Hurst, who took a Shrewsbury side to the playoff final only 4 months before he got sacked? What makes Paul Cook any different to these managers that failed under, Marcus Evans?
You can only go on what you see, can't you, Martin? Do you know what I mean? You can only go on three promotions from League One, Paul Cook's got. You can only go on what you hear from other people, management-wise, how he works with the players. He's got a strong assistant who he said he may bring in the summer, I believe. I didn't quite catch the bit where he said it, but I'm sure he's pushing that.
Wigan, he's currently at Wigan, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm not saying he's any better than Mick McCarthy. Not at any point have I said he's any better than Mick McCarthy. But Same time, he can't be any worse than Paul Lambert, can he? I mean, Christ almighty. You could see, I mean, we're not there every day. We're not. So you can't say, oh, we know what they did. Like we discussed earlier. I saw a comment earlier saying, oh, at least Paul Cook talks to the players. Paul Lambert didn't do that. I mean, there's poke and shit, and then there's poke and shit. Do you know what I mean? It's getting a bit ridiculous. But at the same time, Cook's got a proven track record, whereas Lambert did it at Norwich, but what's he done since Norwich? Do you know what I mean? Some managers just a bit outdated now, do you know? And the fact that championship teams wanted Cook tells you that he is obviously a credible, good manager, brilliant manager at League One level, in my opinion, you know? And we would go, a chap said earlier, who come on here, I can't remember his name, I do apologise, who said, oh, Mick McCarthy's done unbelievable at Cardiff and stuff like that. But he started like that at Ipswich, didn't he? And then it went a little bit sour. If you're talking about tactics and stuff like that, I think that's what we were all kind of bored of, you know? And like I said, but going back to the original thing, I just, you know, you can only go on track record, what you hear, what you see. Everyone that has spoken about Paul Cook in the last 48, 72 hours has spoken wonders. Do you know what I mean? That's facts, isn't it, Martin? You know?
Yeah.
Do you know what
absolutely,
I mean?
absolutely.
Some of the squad,
Sorry, go on, Kelly.
I was just saying, some of the current players in our, you know, about half a dozen or so current players rate Paul Cook as one of the best managers they've played for or worked with. So you already got that belief. Like Jordan said about McCarthy now at Cardiff and at Ipswich, it's that new manager bounce. The league is that bad. We're going to go up, man. We're going to go up. Let's be happy. Takeover, you know, I'm 90% sure it's going to happen.
I can't be. Because I like Paul Cook. I like Paul Cook. No, because for years I've been told, who's going to want to buy Ipswich? Who's going to want to buy Ipswich? I've now actually got, for the first time, a consortium that's been leaked. We've got a price. We've got like the stake that Evans wants to keep hold of, what land he wants to keep hold of. We've got all the ducks in a row, except the man that said if there's a good deal on the table, he'll walk away is now deciding, does he want to walk away or does he not? Or I don't know what he's deciding. Like, I don't want the public to sit back and say, well, we'll let it play out. No, I've listened to too many Town fans over the last 13 years tell me Evans is killing our football club. If you got the chance to publicly say, I don't want you here. Don't stay around for my sake. Don't call me fellow fan like George did earlier. We ain't mates. Take it. If you sit back, he'll just take his time.
But that's the tone.
And who knows
right?
where it goes.
Didn't you clock that? That's the tone of his latest email. Then the one yesterday, or whenever it was, right? Is the dear fellow supporter, this, that, and the other, and we're going to do this. He's talking about it like he's moving out of the owner boardroom and he's a silent partner who wants to be in the stands with us or whatever. Not that he would, but the way he's talking to me is like he's talking about he's writing to us from a different role within the club. He's not writing to us as the majority owner as he did before.
Mm-hmm.
And okay. I can't remember, but I don't think even on their Twitter, on Ipswich's Twitter, normally they've got a message from the owner. And I think yesterday it was a message from Marcus Evans.
True.
Maybe I'm reading too much into that or whatever. Possibly. But have a bit of faith and let's celebrate Paul Cook.
Absolutely. I'm very excited.
Calm down.
I have never said I'm anything but excited for Paul Cook. When it was floated he was possibly coming in, and maybe not for me, but talking to Freddie from Portsmouth, talking to the Wigan podcast that I did yesterday, I am beyond excited for Paul Cook. I am ready. I just want this man to be given everything we can possibly give him to make him a success, because I don't want to be sat here in 6 months' time, Callie, saying to you, has he got to go? Is it time up?
Yeah.
Was his transfer recruitment policy that well? And we're discussing a player he brought in, and it's, well, he chose him. Yeah, but was the budget? You know, the same things we discuss, Mike, with every man over the last 13 years.
Just a question, because I was just going to say, because I think this is a good point in terms of Paul Cook, and Jordan was saying it earlier in terms of his track record. He comes to us on a bit of a hot streak, right? He's won it recently and all the rest of it. Lambert obviously was on what we call a bit of a losing streak or whatever. He hadn't done anything since Norwich. Of that last couple of managers, right, when they've been appointed, you know, anything more than 3 years or 4 years that they've had success before they've gone to Ipswich?
Mm-hmm.
Or have they? I can't think of a manager that joined us and we had a really hot, and it was like, yeah, this manager's just done this like last season or 2 seasons ago. It's more like Roy Keane got Sunderland promoted 3-4 years ago. Mick McCarthy got Wolves promoted 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So it's always an age manager. We seem to have picked up a manager.
Coming in.
Yeah,
We've got a winning manager.
Yeah.
It's a great appointment. It really is a great appointment. It really is.
The thing is, right?
The arrow's pointing out.
This appointment, there's probably, I would say, 95, nearly 98% of the fans have agreed with. Whereas when obviously Roy Keane came in, everybody was like, "Oh, this is a PR stunt." Okay, well, he's done Sunderland. Everybody was like, "Okay, I wasn't happy about Roy Keane's appointment." Proved right, proved I knew that would be a failure from day one. It was all a PR stunt by Evans. And then we got Paul Jewell in, and that was like, oh, Paul, no Paul, you know what I mean? It was like, well, okay, let's see how he does, But there was no real faith. Mick McCarthy, I mean, I think that was probably, a good shout at the time because we needed someone that came with the experience to sort of dross out at the time, and he did it. If he'd have that form from the start, we'd have got the champions. That's how good the second half of the season was under Mick McCarthy. And then, like half fans were like, oh, another year, great. And then, like you say, Lamb again, he split fans. It was all split fans, But Cook, everybody jumped forward.
Mike, we're losing you. Sort yourself out and come back to us. You might have to come out and go back in again. But no, Jordan, Paul Cook, I'm beyond excited. I really am. It's time for a fresh start. Captain Cook, Gillingham at the weekend. Are you excited for what now lay ahead under this manager?
Yeah, of course I am. Obviously, I want the takeover to go through. There's no two ways about it. Of course, I want the takeover to go through, but you just have to focus on the here and now, don't you? Do you know what I mean? And we can't, no matter how much we growl or bite or whatever. It's not. Do you know what I mean? Marcus Evans has clearly made his stance. You know what I mean? He's been here 13 years. He has put his hand in his pocket for a long, long time. I feel like we have to back the here and now as such. Do you know what I mean? I know exactly where you're coming from, man. Something has to change. I'm not stupid. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like we have to back the here and now. We have to back a gaffer who is too good for League One football. He is too good for League One football, in my opinion. Any championship team in the lower half of the championship, probably top 6 downwards, would have taken Paul Cook at their club. That for me, that's facts. That's the way it is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Track record on a tight budget at Wigan, like Mark said earlier. 10 million quid he spent at Wigan, weren't it? Something like that. Or altogether, he made a team out of 10 million quid, whatever. But he's worked on a shoestring budget before. He knows what it's all about. He's clearly here for a reason. He wants to be here. It was quite clear. He was like a kid in a sweet shop earlier in that interview. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to see a gaffer come in, smiling, raring to go, cup of tea in hand, out there with a lad sort of thing, huddle. I mean, I don't know if any of you watched the iFollow on Tuesday night, but I had it with commentary off. And all I heard was Paul Cook. When the lad went down for a penalty, dive for a penalty, I heard him call him a cheating cunt. Do you know what I mean? It's just inject him into me. Just inject Paul Cook into me right now, because that's the sort of bloke I want to see on my touchline, fighting everything, heading every ball, kicking every ball. Do you know what I mean? And I think for what we are, the situation we are in at the moment, that is what we need to take us forward.
He's he will fight for the badge, and he's got that passion. And I can't wait. I can't wait, because listen, I don't think we're going to lose again. Bang, we're going up. All right, I'm on the Portman Road. Listen, we're going up. We're going up. And we're going automatic. I'm saying it. We're going automatic.
I love it. And listening to his conference, Mike, today, just refreshing. Down to earth. I loved the bit where he had the joke about the takeover. That means my job's in jeopardy. Quite clearly joking, but I just loved, and every manager starts this way, I know, but I just loved, it was just refreshing.
It was probably the best opening sort of interview for a manager we've had for a long time. I came away from it and I thought, you know what? I'm with Callie. It kind of makes you feel we're not going to lose this year. We're not going to lose now. We're just going to keep going and we're going to be unbeaten. That's how he makes you feel. And I'm thinking, if he does that to me, then is he going to do it to the players as well? You've got to think that. I mean, we've got players like Caden Jackson who was pushed out by Lambert. Is Phil Ham going to come back now? Hopefully he
has. He has come back.
Well done.
He was there today. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still no invite for me though. I saw still no invite for me. I mean, maybe he doesn't want to face the fans' questions. I don't know.
Look, this
I
is
don't
a
know.
big
What?
platform, isn't it? We've got stars of the show. Callie, Stewart, yourself, Cruncher, maybe me.
Callie has laid it down tonight. He has brought the axe and he's got the wood.
Oh, he's A-game, isn't he?
It was the green shoots, mate. Marcus Evans green shoots. Get some.
Wow. So this weekend, Gillingham. Callie, I don't need to ask you if you're going to win because you've already said we're going to go unbeaten. I mean, that's rivaling my 49 points, to be brutally honest, like in claims. Although you weren't quite as bold because I said it several weeks ago.
You're right. I said, you.
Under Lambert, we would have got 49 points.
Yeah, no chance under Lambert.
No good gloating. You can't gloat now, son. You can't. You've got.
Sorry, did I say Paul Lambert would get 49, or did I say Ipswich Town would get 49? I said Ipswich Town would get 49.
Don't get on the technicalities because that Ipswich Town that you were saying would have got 49 points got a 0-0 with Northampton. This Ipswich Town that we're saying will go on unbeaten just got 3 wins on the bounce.
No such thing as a bad point. Give me a point now. Won't get on coach.
Listen. I'm going with a big scoring game on Saturday.
Of his poster every week, so we don't see it.
Actually, weren't you meant to burn it?
I am burning it. Yes, yeah.
You want to put money into that?
Yeah, I'm burning it. Don't worry. I'm trying to find the best way to do it. But here you go, Crunchy. Look, post a burn at the weekend. It is going to burn. It is going to burn. Believe me. But Callie, as we're going to win in your world, what's the score going to be? Stephen Parry says 3-1. Before that, Coxie, legend that is Coxie. Hope you've got your merchandise, Coxie. Let me know if you haven't. Let me know if you have. Listen to Callie every day. Everybody, Man Talk Sense. Hal the King. His way is the King. Stephen Parry, 3-1. Lee, 3-1. Jonathan Hammond, 4-1. Graham Brook, Country Contact Sign Tuesday. No, that's something else. Lee Brown, think if you're a player, you run through a brick wall for him. Yeah, absolutely. 2-0 Town, says Andreas. Welcome, Andreas. 4-0, says Josh. Yeah. Lee Anderson, best way. Try setting fire to it.
I'm going 3 or 4-0.
3 or 4. You
4
can't have no 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. Let's go 3-0. I'm going to say something that I probably wouldn't have said at the beginning of the season, but I think Norwood will score more than 1 goal, right? So I think he'll get 2 goals, and I think we may see Caden Jackson come off the bench and get a goal. So that's my prediction. 3-0 Town.
Mr. Fisherman, what says you, my man?
I'm going to match Callie. I think. I want to say I'm saying with you, Callie, 3 or 4-0, but it's a tough one, isn't it? My head says you need to be a bit level, but my heart says you need to be. I'm going to go. I can't see us conceding against Gillingham. I can't. I might be wrong, but I'm going to go 3-0. I think at some point we're going to give. If we carry on the way we're doing, we're going to give a team a thumping. If we're due to give a team a thumping. We really are. But I don't think it's going to be Gillingham.
Okay, Stuart, you shook your head there. You shook your head there when Fisherman said we can't concede. What do you think? 1-0. Gary Roberts off the bench, says Mark Touchford. What a throwback year that would be. Quality. Paul Copland's got the bold prediction for Saturday's match day ticket in early. Drennan hat trick. If that happens, I might buy a second poster to burn. Over to you, Stuart. What do you say?
I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna go 4-0.
Oh, Stuart.
Love it. Who's scoring the goals?
Norwood twice, and then Jackson off the bench twice.
Love it. 2 strikers scoring goals in the game, Jordan. It's mad times. It really is.
Callie's coming here tonight and told everyone to calm down, then whacked out a 3-0. Do you know what? I'm going, and this is how I would love it, right? I'm going a 2-1 down. I'm going a 2-1 down, and I just want Steve Evans to be fuming at the end. That's all I ask for. I love it when Steve Evans is angry. Honestly, I love it.
Yeah, in an ideal world, it'd be 1-1, 89th minute. They'd have a penalty claim. It'd be waved away. We'd break, score the winner. He'd be up and down a touchline, absolutely doing his nut. That would be just TV gold. I'd love it.
TV gold would be, like you said, 89th minute. Gone up, had a penalty waved away. We go up the other end. We get a dodgy, soft penalty, and he's running up and down the touchline. That would be the perfect.
Rotherham scenes, George.
8-game TV.
I would love it. That's what I'd love.
Well, I wonder if you'll make. Yeah, there you go. So there we go. I can't really give a score prediction because anything after you four is, well, apart from Jordan, because who's sensible, it's going to be tame, isn't it? Because Callie's come on here. Told us what would be sensible, and then, as Jordan says, deliver the scoreline the such that he has.
I think that's a sensible score. 3-0 is a sensible scoreline. We beat Hull 1-0. We beat Donny. We beat Aki. Okay, 10 men. This is a team under a better manager. They've had a couple of days under Paul Cook. They've had it under Gill. 3-0. We're playing Gillingham. We're not playing a top half team, and we're beating lower teams under Paul Lambert. 3-0. I've got to believe, man. I've got to believe.
Don't stop believing by journey.
So much negativity over the last 4 months. We've got to start having some positivity. Even I've been positive. Do you know what I mean?
I just don't know where he's got that from. Like, I mean, I'd love it if you had, but I think we're all a bit shocked there, Callie. Could you come on so passionately about being sensible, feet on the floor, and then you fucking delivered that?
No. Because hold on, let me explain that. Because I'm saying be sensible in terms of we're all like, the takeover's not happening. Fuck me. Oh shit. And it's like enjoy the fact. Let's calm down about the takeover. Enjoy the fact we got a manager, but let's get behind the manager. You know, this team under Matt Gill got 3 wins on a bounce, right? We got Paul Cook, a proven winner at this level. In fact, a proven champion. He's always gone up as champion, right? At this level. Come on, man. We got to believe. It's Gillingham, for fuck's sake.
Don't worry. Kev Sherwood's going to... Don't worry. Kev Sherwood's going to blow you out of the water.
I'm wearing the town shop shirt today as well. Come on. We believe.
Yeah, lovely. Right, Kev Sherwood 6-0. There you go. We're done. We're back on Saturday, unless anything happens in the next 24 hours before then, in terms of takeovers, etc. But we're live from 12:30 because it's an earlier kickoff, 1 p.m. kickoff. Tomorrow we have a really good, honest interview dropping with Lewis Reed. You may have read about his story recently. We sat down with him during the week, so I'm really looking forward to bringing that to you, and that'll be live from tomorrow morning at some point, just when I press the button, so when I get out of bed.
Can I just say something? Yeah, my mum's watching. My mum's in hospital. She's not been well. A bit of a worrying night for us for the family last night. So yeah, sorry, I don't want to end on a sad note, but she's doing really well. She's via face messenger. But yeah, so hello, mum, and love you.
Hello, Mama Brown. Hope you're all right. We'll end with the comment from Trigger Lee, and if it's the Lee I think it is, happy birthday, Lee. Do you reckon Lee O'Neill mentioned about the traction control of the grass to Paul Cook when he turned up for training this morning? There we go. We're done. All the best to your mother, Mike, and we'll see you all Saturday at 12:30.